I'm Bex Williams with Mike Chen next door to me. He's back in action this weekend, and we are going to have a fantastic weekend of competition. The second South American round in succession. We're almost ready to go. Welcome back, Chenny.
Thank you very much, Bexy. And yeah, as you said, it's going to be an incredible weekend. It's a different profile to what we saw in Paraguay. I have to say as well, what a rally I've missed there was so good, wasn't it?
It was great. It was great. For Elfyn Evans, he walked away from Paraguay with more points, I think, than he expected, which means we have now an epic fight for the championship title. Small gaps between our drivers, between Elfyn Evans, Rovanpera, Ogier and Tanak. It's the tightest championship fight we've seen with the gaps since 2003, which was one of my favourite years.
Yeah, it's gonna go all the way down to the wire, this one, isn't it? That's for sure. And you know, we're getting to the point now where you cannot afford to make any sort of mistake. And we've seen in the past so many times Chile does that. If you get it wrong, it bites. Remember Thierry Neuville's Colossal in the Hyundai a few years ago. You can't afford to make a mistake. And it's a proper rally, this as well, Bex. It's very, very abrasive, the surface of the road. So tyre choice will genuinely be an issue here. I'm sure across the weekend we'll see people using the cross of the hard and the soft compound tyres. We haven't really seen that so much throughout the year, have we? We've seen the drivers opting for the soft. But here it's very, very abrasive, really hard, compact roads. So tyre choice for sure will come into play.
It absolutely will. For Elfyn Evans, though, first on the road, always, isn't it? He's going to be sweeping. He is going to be hindered. Maybe one thing that will help him a little is that we've had a lot of rain in the past few days. There is some more rain due on Friday. I think it might miss the stages, and Saturday is looking very wet out there. Has it blinded, though, enough, the rain that we've had, the surface on Friday, to help him out a little? Let's listen to Scott Martin.
Off the 3 left bar, the only question, the 3 right bar, just trims the 4 flat right bar.
Kalle Rovanpera, Jone Aaltonen now. Second in the championship. You can see on the screen, on the graphics, the championship points. You can see how close it is between Evans, Rovanpera, Ogier. Tanak just a little bit further back on 180 points to Evans' 198, but it is tantalisingly close between our crews. No idea who's going to be leading this championship by the time we hit Sunday here at Rally Chile, and that is the beauty of it at the moment.
Yeah, thinking ahead to road position at CER, Bex, obviously tarmac rally, sealed surface rally, you want to be opening the road there, don't you? So obviously now the drivers really, this is the one time that Elfyn's really desperately trying to lead the championship at the end of a weekend. It'll give him a significant advantage in road position when he arrives at CER.
We had an incredible welcome in Paraguay just a few weeks ago. It's been the same here as we return to Chile. Such passionate fans in this area, in Conception, already out on the stages. Welcoming all of the WRC crews, and of course our support categories as well. Could be a big weekend for them. More on that later though.
Tell you what, Bex, coming back to what you're talking about with the weather, it's not just about how much it's rained, it's also like the temperatures here are so low. So in the mornings you do get that condensation layer that's on, that you tend to get a bit of damp hanging throughout the night and in the morning because the temperature's so low. And again, that will just play into Elfyn's favour a little bit, opening the road. For sure though, road cleaning, as we've seen in the past so often, it is a big deal here. It
is. This man has had 2 podiums already at this event. What can he do this time around from first on the road? Peter Mackay is at the stop control for us. He'll be chatting to all of the crews here. We'll cross out him in a moment. Let's switch to Sebastian Ogier, who celebrates WRC event number 200 here in Chile. Quite an impressive number.
Elfyn, good morning. Another rally starting first on the road. Tell me, is it getting any easier, all these rallies starting on the front of the road?
No, I wouldn't say so, but it depends a lot on the conditions, obviously. In here, quite a bit more dampness and wetness than what we anticipated, really, but yeah, all okay.
He'll be hoping for a little bit more rain as well tonight across the stages, Chenny. to help him, because first on the road here, it is brutal.
Yeah, and that rain, that dampness just reduces the road cleaning effect, doesn't it? And, you know, if you think of a classic road cleaning rally like Portugal or Sardinia or somewhere like that, when it's bone dry, you can see how much time you lose opening the road. Or when it rains, it just reduces that effect, and it offers up just a little bit more grip. So you're right, Elvin will definitely be praying for a bit of rain.
Former winner here then, Kalle Rovanperä, also will be hoping for a little bit of rain, because second on the road, pretty much same as first in trying to sweep, create a line. Let's see what this time is going to be in relation to Elvin. It was a 3:21.8 for Evans.
Here's a young man whose championships just come alive in the second half. He struggled so much at the start of the year, doesn't he? And then it's just clicked for him, and now it's all starting to come into to play for him, isn't it? So let's see what he can do this weekend. Can he continue the momentum that we saw in Finland, and of course in Paraguay as well? Saw some great flashes of pace from Kalle Rovanperä in Paraguay.
Yeah, absolutely did. But you're right, it is the second half of the season where we've really seen him come alive, and you really feel that the motivation is there now for the championship in his whole attitude. This man never lacks motivation. Ogier, Tanak, Martin Ogier, 2019 champions and winners here in 2019, the first Rally Chile. They've won it twice.
Kalle, good morning. You had fantastic pace in Paraguay. How much is that going to transfer over to the roads here in Chile?
Let's see. Quite different roads here, and also condition on the road. So yeah, this has never been an easy rally when you start quite in the front. It's quite a lot of speeding on Friday. Yeah, already now here I didn't hear my pace notes. My air plugs broke on the start line basically. So yeah, better here than on the real stages. But yeah, not the best start.
Yeah, that isn't the best start when the earplugs are not working, intercom's not working properly. So there you go, statistics on the screen for Sebastian Ogier. His 200th WRC event starts 65 victories. He is the man who just keeps racking up the stats. And he wants to rack up a 9th World Rally Championship title. He very clearly stated that at the end of Paraguay, Jenny.
Yeah, his interview right at the end of the power stage, he was pretty miffed because he'd been dealt a pretty short card, shall we say, a poison card with the weather, and yeah, he was unhappy, wasn't he? He just won the rally, but you know, he obviously hadn't scored the points, and he said, right then, let's go and win a 9th world title, and he wasn't messing, he looked deadly serious. And this man from Thursday to Sunday night becomes an absolute animal. He is terrifyingly quick. That being said, 10.2 seconds to Shakedown. There's obviously something going on there.
Yeah, we'll find out with Pete in just a few moments.
But when Sebastian Ogier's got the bit between his teeth, like you said, at the end of Paraguay, he becomes very, very dangerous, and he'll come into this weekend incredibly determined. He'll want the advantage of starting first on the road in CER for sure.
As we listen to Martin Ogier, then Seb Ogier pulls up. Let's get our first words with the man who's hunting title number 9.
Seb, good morning. It's about 10 seconds off the fastest time there. Any story?
It's a useless Shakedown.
It's your 200th WRC event. Congratulations on that. Tell me, how important is it to be here still fighting after 200 WRC events?
Yeah, I think it's very nice to still be here, still be competitive. I was not maybe planning that for sure when I started, so yeah, as long as we can be competitive, why not?
And he certainly is competitive. He's right at the top of his game still, but so is this man. Ogier Tanak lost out a little bit in Paraguay in terms of the points that he wanted to get in his pocket. That could turn around here, though. He is the man who won this for the first time when we came here in 2019. He won it again with M Sport in 2023. He certainly knows what it takes, Chenny, to be on the top step of the podium. We talked about the determination of Ogier. It's exactly the same with this man.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a proper fighter, isn't he? Ogier Tanak doesn't take any messing. And similar to his teammate here, Neuville, who has had a bit of a shocker this year, hasn't he? I don't think it's been pace-related so much as bad luck. But yeah, Ogier Tanak for sure has not given up on anything, and as you said, knows exactly what he's got to do in order to succeed at this event.
He completes them 1.5 seconds behind Elvin Evans' time. Remember, this is just Shakedown. It is just the opportunity to shake down the car, make sure everything is feeling okay with setup. We're just giving you the times as a courtesy, really, to show how it's all going. It means nothing in relation to what is going to happen on the rally, of course. Takakatsu to Aaron Johnston. Now, good to see them back at this event. They missed it last year.
Oi, good morning. Rally Chile has always been a great event for you. How much is that previous success going to help this weekend?
I guess we all have the same experience, so we've all been here the same amount of time, so I guess there is no benefit really, just a fun rally which I enjoyed.
How much is the road position going to help you, starting a little further down on the road?
Depends what the conditions are. If it's like this, it doesn't make much difference, but yeah, probably it will still dry over today, so let's see tomorrow.
Yeah, the weather does look good today. We've got blue skies, sunshine. On Tuesday, it was really relentless rain, which is why the stage is pretty soaked right now. And as Elvin Evans said, he was quite surprised by the amount of dampness in there. Oid said it's not going to make a difference road position if it is this wet.
Yeah.
I mean, it is blue skies, but the temperatures, like you said earlier, Chenny, are not high. So it's not going to completely dry out out there.
It won't do, and as well, it's not just the temperatures as well. A lot of the stages are in amongst the trees, so the trees are just casting a natural shadow over the road, so they don't get the sunshine, so they don't bake and dry out. And we're actually seeing it, Bex. I mean, Elvin was 3:21.8. Calais went slower. Well, Tanak's gone slower than Elvin. Elvin first in the road, quickest through so far.
That's hopefully, well, for him, going to give him a little bit of a push for tomorrow. But tomorrow is a very different day, big day on Friday as we watch our reigning world champion right now, Thierry Neuville. You mentioned it's not been the best defence of a title this year for many, many different reasons out there. He will want to end the year strongly, and mathematically, he's still in with a shout, but it would mean disasters for everybody else out there for him to be able to seal it. I think he knows in his mind that it's not a possibility.
Yeah, it's got to go nuclear for everybody else, hasn't it, really?
But do you know what? I don't want to say anything because you never know what could happen, do you?
Absolutely not.
Nuclear, yeah, no, that's a good way of putting it. Let's switch out to Ogier and Fulmona then.
That's 17 seconds off the fastest time through there. Just taking it easy through Shakedown, or is there another story?
No, we had a spin. A spin at the beginning of the stage.
Apart from that, how was it feeling after that?
Shit.
A spin at the start of the stage then for our reigning world champion, as you said.
And then it didn't feel very good at all, really.
Nice, nice analysis of that language there. Apologies for that, but yeah. Not a great run then on run one for Thierry Neuville. Taka very much back in action here in Chile. Sat this one out last year. It was Sami Pyrie that got the opportunity behind the wheel of the Rally 1, of course.
It's going to be a disadvantage to Taka, Bex, there's no question about it. This is one of these rallies where you do need to have the experience, and even just at the recce last year, having the pace notes and everything else, and then going through the stages at rally speed. It's just that little bit of pressure in your mind, and it is a very difficult event. And like I said, there's so many places where you can get caught out. So Taka is on the back foot a little bit, having not done the rally last year.
9.5 seconds off the pace of Elvin Evans in front then. Taka has completed. And a huge good morning wherever you are watching around the world right now. This event will get underway for us with competitive stages on Friday morning. Ceremonial start later, which we will be covering, but all the action kickstarts tomorrow.
Taka, good morning. This was a rally you missed last year and the route is exactly the same. Tell me, how much is that going to disadvantage you this year, having not been here last year?
Sorry, I didn't hear properly, but yeah, for sure, lack of the experience from last year will affect quite a lot, so I don't know, I try my best, but
it's quite a tricky and lucky lot of fog and couldn't make quite good pace run. I don't know. Let's see, but yeah, it's going to be victories for me, but I try my best as always.
Yeah, it is going to be a big challenge. Pete makes a very good point. The route is exactly the same. Absolutely nothing has changed with the route, which for Taka, as you mentioned, that's not going to be great. But also for drivers we'll see later, like Josh McAlean, who's doing it for the first time. You know, you come from Paraguay, where it's a level playing field for everybody, and now to an event where, you know, experience counts.
And making the pace notes here has always been quite difficult, Bex, you know, and certainly, again, because of the conditions, judging the grip levels that you've got underneath you, it's a very, very hard-packed road, as I said, so it's always, it's a real challenge. And as well, Bex, there's the psychological aspect. When you're sat with your teammates and they all say, oh yeah, I remember last year, do you remember that corner last year? And Taka can't be involved in that conversation, because he wasn't here.
Yeah.
So that just gets into your head as well. So there's, yeah, it's going to be a challenge for him, as you said.
Formo was in Chile for the first time last year in a Rally 1. He was 5th overall. Disappointing for him in Paraguay after what was just a fantastic performance throughout the whole weekend, holding podium place, and then it all slipping away on the final power stage. It's, you know, this can be a really brutal sport, and we saw that on the final power stage, and then ultimately retirement.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sum it up much better than you have done, Bex. You used the word brutal there, and I think it was pretty brutal for Adrian Formeau. Such many highs and lows of emotions for him across the weekend, wasn't there? But
definitely,
the one thing that he should focus on was that actually the pace was really good.
On to M Sport Ford now. Greg Munster into the stage as we pick up Sami Pyri, and Monsieur Formeau is with Pete.
Adrian, I know Paraguay must have been so disappointing, but tell me, are you feeling refreshed after some holiday between Paraguay and now?
Well, we are pleased to be here in Chile. It's definitely a quick technical rally. It's nice to see that we are all saving tires for the rally for the shakedown. So let's see for sure. It's interesting to drive with the hard tires on the wet, but so let's see. We know that there was a quite nice crowd also here in Chile, so let's enjoy the rally.
Yeah, there was a new bulletin release which across the weekend you can only use a maximum of 28 tyres, but you've got a choice of now 20 softs. Previously it was 16, but they've changed that, so you've got an option of 20 softs and 20 hards. And Adrian there just referencing the fact that people are saving tyres. I imagine pretty much everybody will be out there running the hard compound tyre to try and save the soft for what could be a difficult weekend in terms of tyre choice.
Yeah, certainly. We are looking at rain on Saturday, so yeah, those softs are going to come into play. So a maximum of 28 across the weekend. You
can use up to 28 tyres across the weekend with a choice of 20 softs or 20 hards, and you can use them how you choose to, but at a maximum of 28, and they've upped the allocation of soft compound tyres for this weekend.
Be interesting to see what the weather fronts do. Sami Pyri has completed. It's time with 3:27.8, puts him 4th out of a total of 8 drivers that we have in on run 1 of Shakedown. Out to Josh and Owen now. First time here at Rally Chile. It's one thing you mentioned about the recce, you know, putting together the new notes here, difficult. I'll come back to that point in a moment though. Let's hear from Sami.
Sami, good morning. Back again in the Rally 1 car here in Chile. How are you feeling going into this weekend?
It's nice to be back in Chile and also back in this car after not so long break, but still it's nice to be back. Okay, the shakedown is not quite what we are expecting from the conditions tomorrow especially, but still the feeling is okay, and hoping to have a nice rally.
Yeah, he was 6th overall here last year. You know, we were out having a look at the stages earlier this week. In really difficult conditions, it was relentless rain, low cloud, fog. So trying to put pace notes together when you've got a visibility of maybe just 40, 50 meters in front of you, that's really tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that comes down to, certainly for those drivers like Taka, like Josh McAlean, who are putting the brand new pace notes together, well, certainly Josh McAlean at least, are putting brand new pace notes together. It becomes a real challenge. Josh, again, it's all part of the learning experience for him, Bex, isn't it? So be interested to see how he gets on this weekend. I'm sure we'll hear when we're riding on board with Josh and Owen, when the conditions are good, you'll hear them making lots of note changes throughout the stages. And coming back to the surface of the road, across the weekend, it's a really, really hard base. But here in this shakedown, it's a good long shakedown stage. But as you said, it's quite wet, and it's almost a muddy surface, isn't it? So that's why we've heard some of the drivers getting to the end and saying it's not really indicative of what we're potentially going to see throughout the weekend.
Monster's time down to 3:29.8. And great to welcome back Alberto Heller. His home event, and in a Rally 1 car.
Right four, just full okay, go 150. Right short, back right up, 40.
Gregoire, good morning. This is the event which you know the best in the Rally 1 car. Is that experience translating to a good feeling in the car so far?
Yeah, for sure. We're well experienced now. This shakedown is not really representative to what we're going to face. There is also some management because we're probably going to use a lot of softs, but we don't know how they will wear on the length stage of Saturday and so on. And this stage is quite rough for the tires, so management at the end and just to have a feel with the car.
He makes a very strong point. You know, last year on Saturday was where we saw quite a bit of tyre wear, the abrasiveness of the Saturday stages. But of course, we've got a brand new tyre supply this year with Hankook. They're not quite sure how that's all going to work out and what the condition of the stage is going to be like as well. If there's a lot of rain on Saturday, it's not going to be as bad as last year's bone dry, abrasive stage. So it's a hard one to call.
And you've got to make that call fairly quickly because, as I said, you've only got a certain allocation of softs and hards to use. So you need to determine where you're going to save your soft compound tyres in anticipation, or I thought Josh had run wide there, he hadn't. You need to work out where you're going to use those soft tyres in anticipation of, you know, perhaps a really abrasive stage or the weather coming or whatever. So it's all part of the challenge that goes on away from the stages that the engineers and the meteo crews and everybody are trying to work out.
Everyone's coming together to try and work out exactly how the weekend is going to play out. You can join us, though, for every single stage on All Live to find out exactly how the crews deal with this year's Rally Chile and what the championship will be looking like come the end of it. WRC 2 Championship now, very, very spicy right to the top. Oliver Solberg's into the stage. We'll talk about him in a moment, though. Let's hear from Josh.
Josh, your first time here in Chile, first time in this car on these roads. What do you think?
It's a lot different, I would say, than anything before because the car changes so much day to day, and even to start now, it's quite different from Paraguay. So yeah, a lot to get used to.
And I think as well, to add to that, Bex, we've heard the other driver saying it for Josh, he's not going to learn a great deal from, being in the seat is always good, but he's not going to learn a great deal for the rest of the rally from this shakedown stage either. So tomorrow's going to be a big, big challenge for the young Irishman.
Yeah, it certainly is. Alberto Heller, though, it's always great to have him as part of Rally Chile. You know, we've seen him do seasons in WRC2 with us previously, but to have him here competing in this home event in a Rally 1 car, a lot of pressure, I'm sure, on his shoulders to do well out there, but what an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely, and we always say, don't we, the more Rally 1 cars you can get out, doesn't matter who sat behind the wheel, the better. And but you know, Alberto flying the local flag, and he'll be having the absolute time of his life in that Rally 1 Puma.
And that's Alberto through.
But that's going to be what the weekend's about for them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not going to set the world alight stage times wise, but they are going to have a brilliant, brilliant time. And that is what it's about. It's so heartwarming when you see a driver get to the end of the stage, and that's what you remember, even at this level.
Yeah.
Even at this international world level, when there's so much money being spent, ultimately that's what it's about, you know, having a great time, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, Alberto and Lewis just, you know, laughing away, clasping hands. The first shakedown run done for them in a Rally 1 car. Now, Oliver Solberg, big weekend for him in WRC2.
Alberto, back on your home roads in a Rally 1 car, how good does that feel?
Yes, very happy. I want to say thank you for all my family, all my team for the support. For me, it's really important to be here. This is fantastic, you know, in my region, in my country. Running in a WRC is something like undescribable. I want to say thank you to Lucho, and I hope in Chile we can have a good rally.
Yeah, I'm sure they are going to. Big weekend though, WRC2. This man, if he puts it on the top step of the podium in the category, he wins the WRC2 title. And that is such an easy thing to say, sat here. It's a big weekend for Oliver. And remember, Chenny last year, we were in a kind of similar scenario, weren't we? Huge battle between him, Rossell, between Pyrie. It was the opportunity here in Chile for Oliver to do it last year. Then in CER for Rossell, both of them threw that opportunity away. And it was Sami Pyrie who sealed the deal in Japan. It's a very different complexion on it this year, though. How do you think he's feeling right now?
Oh, well, I don't think last year will be bothering him at all. It certainly shouldn't do, because if it was going to, then he'd have carried that into the first round of 2025. You know, I think he deserves to win the championship. He's been spectacular, hasn't he? He has been comfortably quicker than anybody else. And last year was very, very emotional. Myself and Kiri were actually talking to him when he came back to service when we did our wrap-up show, and there were tears. He was gutted. But I think, you know, you continue to put the work in, you continue to work hard, you continue to push yourself. That's what Oliver's done, isn't it? And the results this year have been phenomenal. That young man, whether it's here or somewhere else, for me, deserves to win the WRC2 championship this year.
Let's find out how he is feeling with Pete.
Oliver, a win takes the title. It sounds simple, but it's not simple in practice. These guys are going to be chasing you hard. How are you feeling?
Well, we all need to win, so the pressure's on for everybody, but they are even more desperate to win than me, so in that sense it's better. So yeah, it's going to be a fantastic weekend. I'm really looking forward to it, and yeah, in here it was just to get through, but yeah, it's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing to watch them all battle, and he's right. You know, the guys behind, Johan Rossell, as well, he wants to get that car on the top step of the podium. He wants to keep the championship alive.
He needs to, really, doesn't he?
He needs to. You know, it's that or nothing. It is going to be a tough rally to be able to do it at. I mean, they have experience of Rally Chile under their belt, but with the weather conditions always playing their part here, it's really difficult to call. Certainly when you get those foggy conditions, it's who's the bravest out there, who has the ultimate trust in their notes to be able to go flat out in those kind of conditions.
Yeah, Johan didn't have a bad run last year either, did he? So again, he'll be able to bring a bit of confidence from last year into it. But I just think, while there's no question the Citroen's gotten better on gravel, Johan's definitely gotten better on the loose surface, hasn't he? I think if you had to put your money down on Oliver Solberg in the Yaris or Johan in the Citroen, in these conditions that we're expecting throughout the weekend, you'd probably edge it a little bit towards Oliver, wouldn't you?
You would, but who knows how it is all going to play out. This is the absolute joy of it all. But we are at this point, you know, at Rally Chile, where the championship can be decided in WRC2. We'll be watching that with interest this weekend.
I think that's the beauty of this sport, isn't it, as well, Bex? Because last year I'd have said the same thing, and Oliver had a shocker, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Johan was, I think, second in WRC2. So, yeah. Let's see what happens.
Johan, great memories from last year winning here. Tell me, how are you feeling going into this year's event, given that the stages are exactly the same?
I'm quite happy about coming here in Chile again. We are here for fight for the title, for sure. Yeah, we need to do the maximum for play for the win, for sure. It's past for great tire choice, great setting anticipation. But we are ready, we have a great team behind us, and yeah, happy to fight for that.
He was happy last year on the top step of the podium. He took it to CR and he could have won it there, and then he didn't. He had a shocker.
Yeah.
So it was like Oliver had the shocker here, then Johan, and then it was Sami Pajari that came through in Japan. With Gus Greensmith now, Jonas Andersen. It's been a bit of a difficult season out there. Again, we've seen great pace from Gus, but we've also seen some struggles.
Yeah, I think
I missed that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's been a little bit frustrating for Gus, hasn't it? And
but it's a great time on the board there. I mean, he could change it round here.
yeah, brilliant time on the board, and you know, he'll be looking for some good results. It just hasn't gone Gus's way this year, has it?
For a plethora of reasons as well. You know, it's, you know, across the board he's had there's been some reliability issues. Also, he's not feeling at one with things. If there's been punctures, it's just not been the season that he's wanted.
Yeah.
Gus, good morning. Back again in Chile with exactly the same stages. Tell me, how much have you tweaked your pace notes from the last one?
Not too much, because on the recce we couldn't see very much. So, yeah, we made a few changes, but the weather's quite different now to what it was early in the week. So, yeah, we'll see what the conditions do.
He does have a photographic memory, doesn't he? It's something he kind of... Well, this is something he told us years ago, so we tested him. We tested Gus, you know, can you remember the notes for this stage? And he's absolutely bang on. So, you know, it doesn't matter about the fault.
He should be winning rallies then, 5 up turns.
Put the pressure on his shoulders, why don't you? Jan Solens now then, making the trip to Rally Chile. I think, again, we've got a really strong field when you look at the WRC2 rundown this weekend. So we might be sitting here saying, yeah, you know, Oliver can go out there, take the win, that's all he needs to do. But he is up against some strong competition in terms of being able to do that out there, because you have the likes of Nikolai Grice in here as well. Emil Lindholm is here. So is Diego Dominguez, who was on brilliant pace at his home event in Paraguay. He was leading that rally before it all fell apart.
Yeah, such a shame for Dominguez on his home event, wasn't it? But you're quite right, Bex. There's a real plethora of talent out there, and it's a very, very tricky rally, this. You know, so it's certainly not going to necessarily all go Oliver's way. He'll have to be on his toes with so much at stake.
Kaito Kaitanovic was definitely a fan favourite in Paraguay, very much so at the ceremonial starts. That is Capybara, or Capincho, I think it's called there, which is like a cuddly toy that he took around everywhere with him. It travelled with him. The fans really took to him, and the Capybara.
That's lovely. Yeah.
I'm disappointed you haven't got one here sitting on your lap.
You don't know that. You just don't know that, do you, Bex? I could have a Capybara. I don't.
You have no idea what they are, do you? No, I didn't think so. Anyway, Jan Solens, let's speak to someone with a brain.
Jan, that's fastest through so far in WRC2. Tell me, how similar is this shakedown stage to the stages we'll see over the weekend?
Well, it's not fully representative, but at least it's always okay to get a bit of feeling. Just try to feel how you get with the car and everything, and start a bit more focused and well prepared for the rally.
Kaito Kaitanovic now on the last sector of stage here. Again, we'll be watching what's happening within WRC2, but also within the WRC2 Challenger category this weekend, which he has been heavily focused on this year. You can just see when you're looking at it from the air there, some of the damper sectors of stage. It'll be really fascinating to see what Friday stages bring us. Whether they will retain that dampness, whether they'll help the first few cars on the road, or whether it'll dry out. Rain is forecast for Saturday, though we are keeping an eye on that right now. It's early springtime here in Chile, and the weather can do anything. Very, very quickly, it can change. That is Kaito through, though.
Tell you what, Bex, Gus has had an absolute banger through there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
WRC2.
Hopefully that gives him a bit of a confidence boost ahead of tomorrow's stages.
That photographic memory of his coming into play.
We do need to do a proper test with Gus on the photographic memory. I think you can come up with something, a challenge for him, Jenny.
The guy with no brain. I don't know if I possibly could come up with a test like that, Rebecca.
You're going to take that to heart, aren't you? Please, come on. It's early doors. We've got 3 days of commentary left to go.
Started. We've got 30 minutes in and the abuse has begun already.
I missed you, mate.
Kaito, welcome back to Chile. How are you feeling going into this weekend?
I feel good. It's gonna be a tough weekend. I mean, fast, narrow, sun, rain, fog. Huge weekend in front of us, but I can wait.
He's like an Irish weatherman.
And in Polish as well, please.
Summed it up so well. Now, if you joined us for the coverage earlier on, you would have heard from our P1 drivers. Thierry Neuville said he had a spin at the start of the stage. Just take a look at it.
No, the back of the car's just got away from him. Very, very early into the corner as well, Bex. That long sweeping right-hander just tucked the front in and the back of the car's just rotated. He just wasn't able to catch it. And because the corner continued to nip, he wasn't able to just bury the throttle either to get him out of trouble. So a fairly innocuous spin there for Thierry Neuville. And then after that, he'll have just cruised down to the end of the stage.
Those fans were perfectly placed, though, for a bit of action, weren't they? Elvin Evans was the fastest through then on run one of Shakedown, a 3:21.8 over Rovanperä with a 1.4 second difference. 1.5 seconds behind them was Tanak, then Pyrie fourth fastest, then Formeau, Makalian, Munster, Katsuta, Ogier. Then we've got the first of our WRC2 cruise through. Gus Greenmith with a fantastic time on the board for run one of Shakedown, quicker than Neuville. Obviously, we just saw that spin for Neuville. Then Solans, Solberg and Heller. And that is the way it stands after run one here at Shakedown at Rally Chile. B.O.B.O. Now let's head out to Kiribati.
Just a little taste of what is gonna come this afternoon and for the rest of the weekend. Welcome to the B.O.B.O. Rally in Chile. Now this is the sort of surface that you're seeing out there. There's a lot of water underfoot, so the weather conditions are going to be very exciting and change the game a lot. Now, of course, you'll have been hearing all about the championship title fight. 9 points separate the two at the top, 18 between the top. But 4, it is a very, very close battle. In fact, this is so close. The last time it was this close at round 11 was in 2003. So it just shows how very close this is as we head into the final throws of this season, the last gravel round before we head back to tarmac in Central Europe. Well, like I said, it's an exciting weekend ahead. We've got the start ramp coming up for you this evening. That is a sight to be seen. Make sure you join us this evening for the start ramp. They do it well here in Chile. You saw it in Paraguay. It will be a spectacle to watch. And then the 16 stages will come across the weekend. The exact same sort of format of stages and stages that we saw last year. So we know what to expect, but it's the weather conditions that really can throw up so much. Okay, well, make sure you join us for all of the action throughout the weekend. It is going to be another good one. It's Seb's 200th rally. It's a milestone that he's going to want to hit with a win. The battle is on. The battle is absolutely fierce. All right, well, it is the celebrations of the start ramp that will be with us this evening. But from us here at Shakedown for now, it is goodbye.